We don't know the true value of water until the well has run dry. That's a quote by Thomas Fuller. He was a 17th century author, and the quote is about not taking things for granted. I'm not going to take this shave for granted, and none of the shaves that I have hereafter. Why do I talk about taking things for granted? Well, about 10 or 12 days ago, I lost my sense of smell and taste. And yeah, I mean, this is at least for me, a hobby that is really focused or uses your senses. And for me, the biggest one is probably the sense of smell, and I lost it. And it was a little bit depressing for me. A little bit of a backstory. I had gone to Vegas for work a couple weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, I think at this point. And I came back, and about 24 hours later, I got sick. I tested for COVID, but it came back negative. Nothing coughing or sneezing, but I had body aches and a really bad headache and just felt crappy for about 24 hours. 48 hours later, I'm fine, but then I wake up one morning, I could not smell or taste anything. And I shaved a couple of times during the 5 days that I couldn't smell anything, and it was very strange because obviously I couldn't smell the soap that I was using, and I would use the aftershave, and the alcohol, like in the aftershave, would kind of, sting in my nostrils, but I couldn't smell anything at all. It was really, really bizarre, and it made me, like I said, kind of depressed. Well, I'm glad to say that at least the majority of my sense of smell and taste is back. I'd say maybe like 70-80% of my sense of smell, and then maybe like 50% of my sense of taste. Everything I taste still tastes kind of dull. But anyways, don't take things for granted. If you remember in my last video, I previewed that I would be using the Stallion shave soap. This was sent to me by Todd. It's Razorock, and it smells of oud. It says an intense burst of oud cologne. It's not intense for me, because like I said, I still don't have my entire sense of smell back. But it smells like, I guess, oud, should smell. Kind of like a cologne. Oud is a wood, and my wife had asked me, what is oud? And I was like, it's a wood, and they make fragrant cologne out of it. The Stallion by Razorock, I don't know, I guess this is named after the shaver Anthony Esposito, I think is his name. He calls himself the Stallion. I don't know if this soap is associated with him. But I've got the matching aftershave. I actually opened this in my last video, if you remember. I got a mail call during the middle of shooting a shave video. So the soap came from Todd at Take Care Man, and then I bought this to match. The bowl that I'll be lathering in is the Timeless shave bowl, and then the brush that I'm using is my wonderful Semogue 1800 brush, boar brush. This brush now is, gosh, almost 8 years old. Love this brush. I've used it hundreds of times. It's nice and well broken in. The razor I'll be using for today is a 60s, I've got it right here, 60s model Gillette twist to open flare tip. Super speed, I think is what it's called. It's like 66, I think. And the blade I'll be using in that is a Treet silver. This is the first use of that Treet silver blade. So, yeah, all good things. Glad that I can somewhat smell again. Let's go down now to the lather. So I've scraped out some of the soap, I've put it down in the bowl, and then I put some water on top to soften it up. And I've got my brush here. I've had my brush soaking in water for about 5-10 minutes, and we'll start the lather. This is only like the second time that I've used this soap. But I got good results as far as the lather goes. This brush, you can't go wrong with this brush though. It's a great brush. You could probably lather anything with this brush. I know sometimes boar, I've had a couple of boar brushes that kind of like kill the lather. Not the case here though. I'm going to add a splash of water. Alright, that was quick. I think that's good. That looks good to me. Alright, back up top. Alright, welcome back. I've already washed my face and used this clear, unscented, glycerin-based soap. I'm going to use it again now. I'm going to leave it on my face as a pre-shave, if you will. I haven't shaved in 5 days or so. You can see my growth is pretty thick. Just been busy. Yeah, I went out to Vegas. When I was in my 20s, I loved Vegas. I went to Vegas, not every year, but almost like every other year. And now that I'm in my 40s, I'm kind of over Vegas. Now granted, it's for work, not for pleasure. So I stay very busy and I'm very tired. Lots of running around. Early morning, like every morning I was downstairs in our conference center at like 6 in the morning. And I would wrap up every day at like 6 at night or even 7 at night. I would just grab something to eat and go to bed, more or less. Everything in Vegas has gotten so expensive, like crazy expensive. We ate at a food court and it was over $25 a person for like a gyro, a Coke, and some fries. But whatever. I used to want to live in Vegas, not anymore. There's no way I could live in Vegas now, unless I was super rich. So we get back from Vegas, lose my sense of smell. And yeah, it was a little depressing. I'm glad it came back. I woke up on like the 5th morning. Still couldn't taste anything, couldn't smell anything. Ate my breakfast, drank coffee that tasted like nothing. And then I was at work. I even ate lunch at work and couldn't taste anything. And then all of a sudden I was like, I think I smell something. Like, I walked down the hall and there was a smell, you know, like an ambient office smell. And I quickly went into the break room and I grabbed like a Little Debbie snack food cake, you know, chocolate, and I could smell it and I could taste a little bit of it. And I was like, okay, I'll take it back. I don't think I could taste yet. That came a day or two later. But man, I was like, what if it never comes back? If I can't smell these soaps, I would be sad. So, don't take your sense of smell for granted. I try not to take most things for granted. Every year when it gets cold and I lie in bed and I'm warm and I'm cozy, I think about folks that aren't as fortunate and are homeless and don't have a warm place to stay. I was in a really bad relationship. Well, no, the relationship went bad. And I lived with her, and when we broke up, I was kind of out on my own. Fortunately, I had a friend that took me in and let me stay on his couch for a few weeks while I found a new place and whatnot. But I would have been homeless. Very fortunate to have a friend that would take me in. And I think about that all the time, that I was just glad to have a roof over my head. Years ago, I made a pact. A lady that I worked with, I said, hey, I think, because I used to work in TV news, and I think our story was on homelessness. And I made a pact with her. I said, hey, if I ever end up homeless, will you take me in? And vice versa. If you ever end up homeless, this is to the reporter. I was like, I'll take you in. And she said, yeah, we made a deal. And then I told her later, I was like, you know, the odds of you becoming homeless are a lot lower than the odds of me becoming homeless. I think she's in Dallas now. I think she's done quite well for herself, so I don't think she's going homeless anytime soon. Yeah, Vegas. It was like, I was there last year for work. I was there in November of last year for work, and this year, October, it was like 90 degrees. Although it's been pretty warm. Even here in Wisconsin, temperatures have been in the 70s the last couple of days. We're typically in the like low 50s. I'm not complaining. October of 2020, we had a foot of snow over the entire month, but still. And now it's nearing the end of October and temperatures are in the 70s. Today's Sunday, and I spent like 3 hours yesterday cleaning up leaves. We have an ash tree in our yard, a few oak trees in the backyard. I haven't even started on the backyard. And then we have like 3 maple trees. And don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. They put out these beautiful orange and yellow and red leaves. But frickin' leaves everywhere. So I spent like 3 hours yesterday cleaning up leaves. Overnight it was very breezy, and I woke up this morning and the entire yard is covered in leaves. I mean, you could say it's a good thing I cleaned up what I did, because that would all be just on top of, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's less leaves on the grass now than if I had not cleaned up. There'd be a whole lot more, but still, it's disheartening to wake up and look out there and see that everything you did is kind of back to the way it was. Oh well. Halloween is in a week. By the time I get this video out there, it'll roughly be Halloween. We've been watching Hocus Pocus 2 like on repeat in my house. My daughters love it. It's good if you haven't seen it yet. It's on Disney Plus. We went to McDonald's today and got Happy Meals and got the throwback 90s trick-or-treat bucket. That's how they get you. Nostalgia. Yeah, Halloween. This year my youngest daughter is a chicken. My oldest daughter is Spider-Man. My wife is a pumpkin, and I am a donut. That's what my Halloween costume this year is. A donut. I definitely needed a shave because my goatee is like the same length as the rest of my stubble. I wondered with being sick if it was COVID, and I tested and it came back negative. That doesn't mean that I didn't have it, but who knows. I am technically now 0 for 2. I have tested twice, but have yet to have a positive test result, which I'm thankful of. Pretty sure I had it last year because my family members tested positive. So, just because I haven't tested positive doesn't mean that I haven't had it. After Halloween wraps up, we begin the holiday season with Thanksgiving and Christmas, which is my favorite time of year. Christmas movies, love Christmas movies. I've seen, I mentioned Hocus Pocus 2, and my wife was worried that it would kind of ruin the first one. I have heard HBO is putting out a Christmas Story 2, which Christmas Story is probably my favorite Christmas movie, and I don't want to watch it because I'm worried it's going to ruin the first one. Caddyshack is one of my favorite movies of all time, and there's a Caddyshack 2, but I've never seen it. I feel like it would ruin the first Caddyshack, because I heard it's horrible. I've never seen it. Just going on what I've heard. Most remakes are bad. I'm gonna shave these little spots right here, and then we'll call it done. My youngest daughter was taking a nap, and I can hear her. She's awake. So that means wrap it up, Dad. Good shave that I can smell. I'm looking at purchasing a new Christmas scent, and one I couldn't smell for a few days. That had me a little depressed because I was all excited about a new Christmas scent. All right. I think I'll finish up here, go downstairs, and watch some more football. Get at those leaves again. I definitely need to work a little bit more before it's all covered in snow. All right. Looking good, feeling good. My wife likes this aftershave. Again, kind of a cologne scent. Not super strong. And it's not just my muted sense of smell. It is kind of just a subtle cologne type smell. All right, feels good. I hope everyone stays safe. Everyone has a good Halloween, and yeah, I'll see you in November. Take care.